And so just like Fast and Furious, the government 8-9 months ago reported on itself to try to spin it and minimize it. Oh, we accidentally allowed some guns in Phoenix to be sold. No, it turns out they were shipping 18-wheelers of them to Mexico. And no one's getting in trouble for it. And so now, because the drug dealing is coming out, oh, we do actually launder the drugs. Yeah, Wachovia and Wells Fargo, $376 billion. Bloomberg, AP, Reuters reported last year, in 2 years laundered. Oh, yeah, they're laundering that down at a crack house. No, the government is run by drug dealing, narcotics trafficking, weapons dealing, terrorist funding murderers.
Hey everybody, Alex Jones here. If you're looking for the perfect Christmas gift, listen up. This will make your holiday shopping very easy. This year, give a seed bank from one of our oldest sponsors, Solutions from Science, to your friends and family. Here's why. The Survival Seed Bank will give any friend or loved one the ability to grow a full acre crisis garden of nutritionally dense, life-sustaining food. And the Survival Seed Bank is not just a box of open-pollinated seeds. It's an indestructible, waterproof seed bank that can even be buried if we face a real meltdown. And here's the best part. All the seeds in the Survival Seed Bank go through strict germination testing, so you can be confident you're not buying old seeds. Give a Survival Seed Bank this Christmas by going to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com. Or you can call 877-327-0365 to give the gift that produces an ongoing supply of life-sustaining food.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
We now take you live
To the Central Texas Command Center.
in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
So I sat there and watched last Thursday night the Senate pass 93-7 to fully get rid of Posse Comitatus and allow the military to engage in any activity in the United States. Total federal domination over everything. They've been quietly getting rid of it for a long time. I've been to the drills and watched the military train to lock down U.S. cities and confiscate firearms in the U.S., and they admit it's for the U.S. I told you that a decade or more before the Stars and Stripes told you about it, but told you how great it was. And I got the government training manuals where it wasn't for Muslim terrorists like you were being told. It was for gun owners, libertarians, landowners. And I sat there and watched Senator Jay Rockefeller and others celebrate and kind of do victory dances as they went up and voted. As they called out the roll call, they came up and told them how they were voting right there at the dais, as they do on important votes, to make sure it's on record. And I saw a comment on an article at Infowars.com breaking this down, where somebody said, in fact, I meant to print it off, but they said, well, hey, I don't have anything to hide. Why should I worry? In fact, we went out and talked to people on the street. We did 2 news reports. We showed the vast majority that were against the military on the streets, and then we also showed the 2 or 3 people who were pretty much incoherent, but one of them was able to get out the words, and again, the full video was posted at Infowars.com, that, well, I don't do anything wrong, so I don't care if the military is on the streets. Well, a lot of people in Germany didn't do anything wrong, or in communist China, or in Pol Pot's Cambodia. I mean, a lot of people get robbed by street criminals who didn't do anything wrong. I mean, that's like saying, I don't lock my doors at night because I don't do anything wrong. Every time in history, when you allow a big, powerful, out-of-control government to get rid of checks and balances, horrible things happen. It might not happen the first year or even the first 10 years, but you always get rid of the checks and balances. You will get evil people in there who will abuse you and who will steal everything. And we have a group that is evil and is corrupt and has been caught committing so many crimes publicly. I mean, if you're a new listener, it's on record the big banks launder the drug money publicly. It's on record they own and run the narcotics giant aircraft, landing them back and forth. It's on record that 8 federal agencies, from the ATF to the FBI to the Border Patrol, on record in federal court, let the aircraft land, let the 18-wheelers drive through, and they're looking for some teenager that drove over the border and bought a ½ pound of pot. You know why? Because that keeps the price down of the government products. The whole drug war is about that. I mean, I could go on and on. ABC News reported what I told you in Endgame 4 years ago. 70+% of foster children are on multiple psychotropic drugs. It's now 9 in Texas, 7 nationwide. Totally healthy kids put on drugs by the government that screw them up. I saw news Friday where in Europe they're talking about putting lithium in the water to calm the public during the Depression. They already put lithium in the water. Did you know that? Most of the so-called fluoride product that is put in the majority of U.S. cities' water, look it up, has radioactive isotopes, lithium, arsenic, not just so-called sodium fluoride. And it's really not even that. It's another type of acid. Again, people say this stuff sounds crazy. You bet history's crazy, reality's crazy. They say truth's stranger than fiction. Reality is so much crazier than any magazine or book or fiction dystopic novel you could write, because this is a real world. It's not a book or a movie. It's 7 billion people and a crazy global elite who compete with each other for who can be the most ruthless and wicked. And so I ask you, if you're police or military, that's who's going to be able to call in first. I want to take a round of your calls. Are you going to, is there anything you wouldn't enforce? Is there any order you wouldn't carry out? Since you don't care about the Bill of Rights and Constitution, at least the leadership that's been bought and paid for. I mean, why have a Bill of Rights and Constitution? Why have due process if the military can just secretly arrest you, you disappear? All of America a battleground. Nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. All the training to take on gun owners and vets. I've been to these events. I've gotten the training manuals. I've made films about it. It's been national news. They literally fight people wearing cowboy hats and Western wear at these urban warfare drills. They practice killing rednecks, okay? The very people cheerleading, giving up their rights to fight the, quote, Muslims. You get the manuals. It's Ron Paul supporters. It's libertarians. It's returning veterans. It's retired police officers. It's all public. You can go pull up these manuals we've been sent by good police and military. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're going to do. I'm gonna give you the number right now. Are you going to follow these orders? Is there any order you wouldn't follow? You know, the Nazis, by successive approximation, by incrementalism, got to where they would shoot babies in the back of the head and throw them into pits. Now, there's films of that. Just type in Nazis shooting women and children. You want to watch them. It's online. But you know what? More than just that, it's the people ordered. The men are ordered to run into pits, and they run in. And then next, the women with their babies. And then they shoot them. Let me explain something. I'm not going to go along with this. I hope those of you that, because this is a real tyranny being set up. I witnessed Marines in California, this is in my film, Police State 2000, admitting the training was for America and bringing the role players out of apartments and having them get on their knees, and the Marines would shoot them in the back of the head. By the way, that's come out in the major newspapers. Remember Private Bruckheimer, early into the Afghan War, 2002, came home after his tour, late 2002, and he said, yeah, we go in villages and we kill everybody. Men, women, and children. And then the Pentagon came out on Fox News and clarified. They said, we only kill everybody in certain villages. Do you think the torture is just going to be over there? Do you think the killing of children is just going to be over there? You know, Pat Tillman volunteered, gave up his $3 million a year contract, and or was it $5 million? I forget. And went over there and then found out they were growing the drugs. They were killing innocent people. He said, this is all a hoax. I'm going to come home and speak out against it. And they said, no, you're not, Pat. We're going to kill you. And they murdered him. And it came out they murdered him. That's who we're dealing with here. Not our government. Criminals have hijacked it. If a guy hijacks a school bus and has got his gun to the kids' heads, I mean, do the cops say, well, that's all right, he's wearing a school bus driver uniform? No, they're hijackers. The Germans should have said, Hitler, you hijacked Deutschland. We're not going to follow you. So I want to hear from police and military. When we come back, I'm going to play part of the nightly news. The whole thing's up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. The nightly news from Friday. But then I want to talk to police and military. Then I got a bunch of other news about Ron Paul in second place and all the rest of it, and a bunch of police state news. And Friday I didn't get to the takeover of the power plants. As we told you, now they're admitting that you're going to pay roughly double in the next few years, and there's going to be rolling blackouts year-round. Here's the number for police and military only in the first hour. Will you follow any order, or will you say no to this? Are you even aware of this? Here's the number. I'm going to give it to you, 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. I want to hear from you, 877-789-ALEX. We'll be right back. Stay with us. PrisonPlanet.tv.
Attention shoppers, please stay in line. You must be scanned and searched before entering the mall area. Attention, you must disrobe and pass through the scanner at mall security before entering the building.
Hey, most GCN listeners know that the future of Christmas shopping may quite well be that scary. And while we're not there yet, as shoppers, we still face terrible traffic, crazy lines, and even crazier shoppers. But this year can be different. You can still opt out of the craziness and do your shopping off the grid by going to offthegridchristmas.com, where you'll find our new Christmas video featuring an amazing assortment of truly hard-to-get gifts. Gifts you simply won't find in stores. These are gifts that can help anyone on your list become better prepared for the hard times ahead. And here's the best part. Prices have been slashed until December 15th. This year, opt out of the lines. You won't get fined. You'll get great discounts on all kinds of off-the-grid gear by going to offthegridchristmas.com. Go to offthegridchristmas.com. That's offthegridchristmas.com.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicted